Wanted to make sure we had some good sound. Hey, we back again with another Marriage Matters podcast. What number is this, Angel?
Number 4.
This is number 4. We got some good stuff that we want to kind of get to you, that we're going to talk about. And if you have any questions, or if you have any anything that you want to say, we want to make sure that you put your questions, comments, and everything right in the comments section. How you doing, Lady A?
Good.
You doing good?
Let's get it rocking.
Okay, let's get it popping. So tonight you may have seen the small video that I did and about our topic and what we want to talk about tonight. We got a few topics that we want to talk about. The first one, we're going to talk about languages. And when we talk about languages, we're talking about how in relation to each other. We're going to talk about, what else? Can men and women be friends?
Really be
friends. Truly be friends. And that's going to be a fun one. We got some good stuff, some entertaining stuff. So we just want to let you know that we're going to do about 30-35 minutes on the podcast here visually, Facebook Live. Then we're going to put the entire episode on our SoundCloud, our YouTube, and all of that. But we just getting it started, man. We got some great things in store, and we ready to rock. You ready to rock?
Let's do it.
Okay, which one you want to do first?
All right. So, we're starting with the things that that women say that men don't understand.
Yeah, let's start there. Matter of fact, let's start there. So what we want to talk about now, we're going to start with this. And I know we got some men out there that your wife, your woman, your spouse, your girlfriend, your friend that you like, that you just call your friend, say. And sometimes they confuse the heck out of you because you don't know what they're saying.
I mean, especially since last week, everybody kind of went crazy with that whole discussion that we had about women being mad and then we have to follow through because we're really not mad.
But you did say that you just get up and be mad for no reason.
I'm saying, okay, let me clarify. I was saying I get up and sometimes you wake up and you just wake up on the wrong side of the bed. So I'm not really mad at anybody or anything. I might just still be sleepy.
Now, this is where I get in trouble because I try to interpret her attitude or body language. So I know I'm not the only man that do this. I'll take a look at her and I'm kind of like, is she good or is she not good? Because if she good, I don't want to mess nothing up. And if she not good, I just don't want to be in the room with her. So
you have to understand, the thing is, I mean, we probably gonna talk about this a little bit, but I won't say I'm not a morning person, but when he wakes up, he's on 10. It's like he go from 0 to up singing in the house loud. You know, he don't give me a minute to
make a joyful noise.
Exactly.
No, let me tell you this story real quick before we get into this. Many of you know I worked for AT&T for a while, and by the time I get to work, when I get up, I'm up. You know, I'm thankful to be alive. And I went to this lady's house. It was my first call. It was 8 o'clock. So we have to be at our job at 8 o'clock. And I knocked on the door and she opened the door and I was like, hey, ma'am, how you doing? What's your problem? I'm Dwayne. I'm here to do this. And she said, Dwayne, can you please not be so morning-like? Listen, I was so offended. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm thankful to be alive. And I went through all of that. So, yeah, I am. I'm a morning.
But you're not. That's the thing. You're not. That's just you. You're not a morning person, but it's just.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But that's all it is. I just be needing that minute, and then so you might think I'm irritated with you or whatever, but then I just have to.
Yeah, but that was before I knew that you just planned to be mad before you get up. So let's jump into it. Let's jump into it. So we're going to talk about languages. We're going to talk about can men and women really be friends and all that good stuff. You got any comments, go ahead and throw me in. Let me read a little bit of this because I thought this was phenomenal and we'll break this down. Just talking about languages. And keep in mind that I just said when my wife wakes up, I'm trying to interpret her body language because my wife got this face that she make. Now y'all out here, y'all gonna know what I'm talking about. She got this face she make when she's highly irritated.
Let me see.
And she does this and she don't even know she do it. Look at this part of my lip.
Yes.
This is what she do. And I used to be saying stuff to her. She'd be like, and I'm like, what's up? Ain't nothing up. I'm straight. Go. No, tell me what's up. Well, how you know it's something wrong with me? Because your lip just... And so every time she do it now, no matter what's going on, I'll be like, hey, you doing that thing with your lip.
What you telling me for?
But what I'm saying...
Like, it's not going to change what I'm thinking.
But what I'm saying is that's a language. So you have what you say, you have how you act, you have little things you do. That's all a language. So in relationships sometimes we get in trouble because we cannot interpret the language. And I always tell men, whenever we do marriage counseling, you better learn the language of your woman. So you want to jump into this?
Yeah, well, while you talking about me, so his language, anytime, like, if he about to lie about something,
oh come on, man,
or something like that, he start rubbing his eyes.
No, man, so
if y'all ever wondering, like, is he telling the truth?
Hey, let's get into this.
Them
thing.
eyes get to itching or something.
Let's get into this thing because that ain't true. All right, let's go. All right. So let me read this, and then we'll jump right into languages, and we're gonna help everybody with something that we struggle with for so long. So Albert, this psychologist named Albert Mehrabian, he's a professor in the 1970s who famously suggested that only 7% of our communication use words. So the number has been challenged a great length over the years, but however, it does point to an important truth that there is a whole range of ways to communicate beyond words, the words we speak. Now, this is extremely important in relationships because most of us say a lot without saying anything. Sometimes you can say a lot without saying nothing. Sometimes your gestures, sometimes the way you move, sometimes you have little things that you do. Some of them are defense mechanisms. But it says men have learned to communicate in a specific way. They take things more literally than women because they communicate more with their heads using thought and logic. Women can communicate this way also, but they've developed other communication styles that use emotions, feelings to express their experience. So in marriage counseling, in relationship, we teach this a lot because we are sectional thinkers. Men deal with the problem at hand. So I remember one time I left the house with the kids and I put them on mismatched shoes, and they ain't letting me lay that down to this day. And when my wife asked me, she said, "Man, what happened?" I said, "Look, they alive. My job is to get them there alive. I don't care about no mismatched shoes, no mismatched socks."
I mean, really mismatched shoes. Like, it wasn't like...
They were both white shoes.
No, they were not.
Yeah, they were.
It was one pink and white Nike gym shoe and one all-white K-Swiss.
But they were alive. Now, but my wife is...
Child abuse.
But women usually, they're able to think in a multifaceted way. But listen to this. And we got stuff to back this up, and we do a lot of this in marriage counseling. We're not going to give y'all everything right now. But listen, it says, men have learned to communicate in a specific way. Now, it says, in order to communicate most effectively, it's important to develop beyond our natural communication preference. So, in other words, we all have a way we like to communicate, but the most effective communicators learn how to speak different languages. Mm-hmm. So that involves listening beyond words. Men, specifically men, we need to communicate to our partner's emotions, and we need to understand what they're really communicating by what they're saying. Now, a woman can tell a man every day, "Hi," but depending on how she says it, it can mean something totally different every day. I wish I had a witness in here. If I get up and my wife, I say, "What's up?" That's how we greet each other when we wake up. I say, "What's up?" She say, "What's up?" If she get up and I say, "What's up?" She say, "What's up?"
What did I mean?
She'd been watching ID all night and she ready to stab something. No, but it can mean something totally different. Now watch this. So there's a whole subtext beneath what women say. And once we learn the true meaning behind what's being communicated, we can start to have more meaningful conversations. People say cash rules everything around me. I always say conversations rule everything around me because a conversation could be helpful. What you think about that?
I agree.
All right, so let's jump into this. Three examples. So there are 3 examples of things women say that men don't understand. And these were taken from this study that was phenomenal. And I'm going to read what the statement is, then I'm going to read what the man said, and then
I'll read what the woman said.
She'll read what the woman said, and then we'll discuss it. So if you got any comments, you can put that on. Number one, it says, and men, she's always complaining. Now, man, so this is what the men will say. Why is she always giving me a hard time? She always looking for my faults and love pointing them out to me. I know I ain't the only man that say, man, she always talking about what I don't do. She always talking about what I do bad. And we all feel like that at times. And then we call the women naggers. And
you're wrong. So what women really mean when we're so-called giving a hard time, basically we're trying to test your resiliency and your integrity. We want to see how you're going to react when you're challenged. This way, we know if we can respect you or if we can trust you.
So are you looking for what we say or how we respond? Because that's two different things. What I say and how I respond is two different things.
Actions speak louder than words.
I guess it's kind of like when you ask your children something and you're not necessarily looking for the answer. You're looking for how they respond. But why don't y'all just say, this is what I want to know? Why do you have to?
Because where women make the mistake, we think that you already know. Like it's certain things that women need. Certain things that we're just born with that we are naturally desiring and looking for, and we don't even know. Like it's a void that we're trying to fill.
Wait. So you're saying you're looking for something you don't know?
Right. I mean, I'm just speaking as women in general.
So
because there's certain things that we want to feel protected. We want to feel loved, and sometimes it might be something we want, but we don't even know how to explain what it is.
But do you know what you want?
I mean, at some point, we do know.
Okay.
But then, we used to always, when we were younger, I used to always be like, well, I don't want you to do it just because I told you. I just want you to surprise me sometimes.
Oh, God.
But now, I don't do that now. Now, if I want something, I just say I want it.
Yeah. But why is that bad, though? We found out that wasn't good.
Well, I mean, that's what I learned.
Yeah.
But before, because you just automatically, sometimes when you have your walls up or you think people are liars or, well, if I tell him that this is what I want, he only go do it because I told him that, not because he want to do it.
Now let me tell you how that's unfair to a man. Because I know plenty of men who wouldn't be planning something, and then just because they understand that attitude from a woman, they will purposely not do what it is they're planning because you have already said, well, why don't you do this? And we kind of be like, why don't you just let me do what I do?
What?
Right.
Say that again.
Okay, so I know men, let's just say.
That's being stubborn.
No, hypothetically speaking. Let's just say a man is going to propose to a woman on the 4th of July.
Okay.
And the woman says a week before the 4th of July, it would be so nice if I got proposed to on the 4th of July. A man will purposely not do it because you gonna think what you just said. He only did it because I said. So we kind of be like, man, why don't y'all just chill? Let us do what we do. And now in marriage,
but then you just asked. See, now you contradict him because you was like, why don't y'all just say what you mean? So. No. So if that's what we want, and then we say that, but then you turn around and say, just let us be and let us do it. Don't say nothing.
No, say what you mean, but some stuff you ain't even got to say.
Because nobody told you not to do it. If that was your plan to do it, then just do it.
Yeah, but no, I mean, now we teach that different, but some stuff you don't even have to say, is what I'm saying.
But how do you know?
You got to have a conversation. You got to have a conversation. This is what we're getting
at. Have a conversation about what not to say?
About your future. If you know that I'm going, okay. Now, so this is what I'm saying. So now we teach this. Even if she say it, you should still do it because she'll still respect it, right? We teach that now.
Yeah.
So a conversation prior to, Now, if we have a conversation and we know that we're moving toward marriage and we know we want to be married at this specific time, then that cancels, well, this will be a great time to do it. Well, this will be so I'm saying conversation up front will cure those type of issues. But if we were in counseling, we would tell the person, even if she say you should do it, still do it, because we have come to the realization through counseling many couples that she just want it done and she'll receive it anyway.
Right.
Right. But we don't know that at first because we don't have these type of conversations. You got me?
Yeah.
Men, did I get that? Did I do that? No? All right. Let's go to the next one.
Now you got a question.
We got a question. Go ahead.
Why do you take it as us telling you what to do or say? Because
I think just for us, depending on how our relationship is set up, I just think that we feel like sometimes, I'm going to keep it 100, that y'all a little controlling and nagging sometimes.
But why is it nagging if we just asking you something? We wouldn't have to keep asking you if you would have just did when we asked you already.
See,
the fact that we asked.
Right there, because most men feel like if you ask me a certain thing, then I do it. Either you're gonna continue, you gonna think I did it just because you asked me, or we're setting a precedent that whatever you say do, I gotta do. Now, it's probably a crazy way to think, but that's how I used to process though.
If it's crazy, does that mean that you just don't respect me then?
No, it ain't got nothing to do with respect, because if that's how I perceive this relationship, then that's how I perceive it. That's why conversations must be between men and women. Why? Because it might be a crazy way for me to think, but if that's how I think, that's how I think. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Maybe that's my
listen,
makeup.
so this is the next part.
Okay.
I know you don't want me to say this part. So for men.
Yeah.
And this is written by a man. The study was done by a man.
Absolutely.
And it says, instead of getting angry at her complaining, what you need to ask yourself is, where is she right? I totally Wait,
agree.
let me read all three.
Go read all three. Go ahead.
Says, what does she want from me that she isn't getting?
Yeah.
So basically, check yourself.
Check yourself. I agree.
And the third thing is, which of her needs am I not meeting?
Right. No, I agree. And that's what I'm saying. In today in counseling, that's what we'll teach. But if you have never heard that, or you never know that, you might just get offended because I'm a grown man. You ain't got to tell me what to do.
You're not my mother.
Yeah, right. You might, if I haven't learned that, and that's why these conversations are important, because I can remember when me and Angel got married, it's certain things that I would feel like, and I'm just being honest, you ain't got to tell me to do that. Even if it ain't done, man, you ain't got, why, man, here we go. And it's just because we never had this conversation.
So in short, it says, women love testing men to see how they will react and to see if they're trustable.
I believe that because I think as human beings, we test each other without even knowing it.
Yeah.
I believe that we all test each other without even knowing it.
It's just that we test men differently from how men
But that
test
goes
us.
back to language and understanding dialect, because if I understand the makeup of a woman, maybe it's not that she doesn't trust me. Maybe it's that she's building trust in me by seeing how I respond to her, vice versa.
Right.
I agree. Number two. Okay, so this is the number 2 quote.
Now y'all hear this all the time.
It's like she's talking a different language to me sometimes. Where my men at? Where it's like she's talking a different language to me sometimes, and this is what the man quote is. We're talking about two completely different things. I think we're talking about the kids only, and we're not apparently. Now, go ahead and do the woman. What the woman think? Now listen to this.
The woman is saying, he doesn't understand me and can only communicate what he's thinking. I want to communicate more deeply than that.
Okay. Now, this is what I feel. I feel like sometimes, because we don't know each other, right? Men compartmentalize. We compartmentalize. So we deal with what's at hand. I think women are built a little different. They have the ability to get the kids together, to cook, to cook while they're getting the kids together. They're doing this one's hair. They're asking this one about their homework. They're doing this. They're doing that. And I've seen that in action. Even with my mom, it's like she can do several different things at once. And I think, and I'm not saying all men, because you do have some men who can multitask. But I just think that sometimes when
you wasn't blessed with that gift.
I was not blessed with that gift. The task at hand is what I'm gonna perfect. But I was blessed with this gift. Whatever is at hand, we gonna kill it.
That's true.
That whatever, if you give me something, we gonna kill it. But I'm only gonna be focused on that one thing.
Right.
Now,
so
what?
Remember when I used to give you that evil eye in the morning?
Oh,
when I used to get the kids ready.
So when we used to, me and Angel used to wake up at the same time. We getting the kids ready. At that point, I
think we only had the twins.
Yeah, we had the twins. I had got laid off, and I would get up, and Angel would be doing hair, and I would get them up. She'll run around. Remember, y'all, she got OCD, so this ain't just normal running. She doing things that she probably shouldn't even be doing at that moment. But look, I'll do my little part. And y'all know me when it comes to the kids. I get them up. I do whatever I need to do. Do my babies, you know. But I do what I can do because I ain't do hair or none of that. And I'll be turn on sports and I'll be sitting on the couch. Here she come past.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me go act like. She looking at me like that for. Eventually I had to tell her, listen. I can't. It ain't nothing else I can do. So stop looking at me crazy. But my wife got OCD, so she always moving, right? She always moving. But yeah.
She just be sitting there on the bed, and I'm all over. I'm done wash clothes, mop the floor, getting the kids ready.
Stuff you ain't need to do. You doing too much.
I can't help it. But
I know you doing too much.
The point is, I'm doing all this stuff, and he's sitting there.
No, I'm watching Sports Center.
Watching the same Sports Center that
repeats. But listen, Sports Center.
How many times can you watch the same show?
No, it's highlights. What do you mean? You can watch it every time it come on.
What
do you think about that? So this is what I think, and y'all can comment if y'all want. Tell us if we run. I just think men deal with things differently than women. This is the key. Can we find out how we deal with it so that we can combine our forces and become Superman and Wonder Woman? So
Harvey. Yeah. Bumbry said, sometimes the woman is too aggressive. That's why men don't like to ask.
I totally agree. Because y'all feel like sometimes, well, I already said it. I shouldn't have to say it again. And that's just wrong. Because if I'm asking you, see, this is what women do that men don't do. Women will not tell you how they feel. They will not.
I do now.
You do now, yeah, but after counseling you do. But women won't tell you because you should know. You should know. I done said it. And then so y'all don't understand. Y'all come across aggressive in y'all actions because y'all mad. And attitude is a language that's outwardly spoken with your actions.
Oh, y'all make us think that we tripping. We already said it, so we don't have to say anything again. So we just like, eventually, is he gonna ever get it?
Right, but
I'm making.
But that's what he's that's what he's saying. At some point if the women keep it 100, at some point y'all look at us or talk to us like y'all kids as opposed. I already told you, and if I gotta tell you again.
But then if I tell you again, you said I'm nagging. So where do we win?
You don't. You don't win until you deal with some of these perspectives.
So, my baby brother says. Teachers test students. I wish a woman would try to test me.
Come on, Tony. Tony, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
You delete that comment.
Listen, you do not have to test us like children.
You just said it, that everybody tests everybody.
Yeah, but you had to have a conversation about this whole testing thing because like what she just said, but if I told you one time, then I shouldn't have to tell you again.
No, but the testing starts off, it's early. I mean, I'm thinking more so when you're in the dating phase, not marriage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, when you, Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. But that's why. But still, with that, you have to have conversations when you're dating.
Now, baby brother, Nina was testing you too.
She did test you, Tone. Hey, Tone, she got you, dog. She did test you. All right, let's go to the third one. You got anything else on that second one? Let's go to the third one.
Yeah, Crystal said, "Oh my God, how many highlights do you need to see?" Oh, Sports Center.
Man, listen, in sport, that's what we do. Like, what y'all do, women got weird things they do over and over again. Let's go to number 3.
Changu says she doesn't like to ask over and over.
I
Now, that's one thing. To this day, I still, like, he will ask me 100, the same thing.
I
like,
will ask you the
in
same.
the morning when we get up, he be like, all right, what I got to do today? So I tell him. I'll text him the list. Then he'll call me at work like, hey, what I got to do again? I texted to you. I told you. Then he asked me again like, all right,
but
I
why?
did this and this.
Why?
What else I got to do?
Why?
Like,
Why?
And then I was like, you know what? I just stopped answering.
No, but why? Why do I do that?
I don't know. Why?
Because I forget, and it's not just that I forget. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing nothing.
I be like, just read the list. That's why I texted to you.
Changu, and we ask because we just want to make sure. Because you know what's going to happen if we forget something? Number 3. Let's go to number 3.
Hold on, one more. So Tony says, leaving clothes on the floor to see if he'll pick them up. Come on now. Now, okay.
Man,
now,
Tony, yes.
We experienced this our first year.
My wife is notorious.
Not
now, because she went to counseling.
I've been delivered.
She's been delivered. She was notorious for cleaning up. She got OCD. She'll clean up everything. And my shorts and my t-shirt, she'll leave them right there. She'll just throw them right there. And look, they was already there, so I'm walking right over, right? And she like getting frustrated instead of just picking the clothes up.
Right, because all right, y'all.
But wait.
Well, look,
why was you?
I was the queen of petty then, because I used to keep track of how many times he go walk over this.
Now, was that being petty?
Yeah, it was.
Tone, there we go. That was being petty. Why was that being petty?
Because I could have just picked. I was making myself more angry, like as time went on. Like it been 5 days, he's still stepping over this shirt. Like, am I the only one that see it? Am I the only one that see the garbage can is overflowing in this house? You know.
Yeah.
So now, even with that, I'll just take the garbage out.
Yep. And this is what I told her. Even with garbage, she likes it, and this is what we run into. She likes it to be done before she goes to work. Well,
because I want to come home to a clean house.
Because she want to come home, but I like to do it before I leave the house for the day. So that's where we'll differ. So it's gonna get done, but there's a difference. But this is stuff we have to talk about because she'll think he just don't take the garbage out, and I'll be saying, well, I like to take it out before I leave. I like to clean up before I leave the house for the day. She like to do it before she leave to go to work.
Well, it's the same thing because I'm leaving the house.
Right. No, I agree, but I'm saying if we talk about it, then we'll figure out. Okay, well, it ain't no issue that she got with me or I got with her. So, number 3.
Crystal says she has a calendar so Aaron doesn't forget stuff.
That's good.
But he forgets to look at the calendar. Exactly.
Well, you got to figure out something to make him think about the calendar,
I
right?
put stuff in his calendar on his phone, and he still will call me. Like,
yeah, I call you definitely. Number 3. This is what men say. She takes control of situations that I'm dealing with. Men, the statement. I've told her I'm dealing with the situation, and then she just takes it over. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. What the women say?
If I don't trust him and his leadership, I get frustrated and would rather do it myself.
Now, this is extremely important. Listen to this. Everybody, listen to this. Women are powerful and successful than ever before. We know that. You know, we all love our those that we're in a relationship with, our spouses. We understand that they're doing a ton of different things. But there's 3 types of relationships. Relationships are like, life is like a musical soundtrack.
Like dancing.
Yep, life is like a musical soundtrack. Your relationships is like dancing. There's 3 types of dancers. There's 3 types of forms of dancing. And this is where you might be, and this is where we want to get you to. Go ahead.
In dance, there's typically a leader and a follower.
Yep.
The leader sets the tempo, the style, the direction.
Leader and the follower.
And the follower follows.
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't always work like this.
Yep.
So applying this to our relationships, there's typically 3 scenarios. So the first scenario is when you have 2 followers.
2 followers. Listen to this.
In many relationships, there's 2 followers as both are passive and looking to the other to take the lead. we'll call this relationship the drifters. So you got two people sitting there doing nothing, waiting for the other person to do it.
So nothing gets done. These are drifters.
Mm-hmm.
These are drifters.
Then the next type.
That's one.
Is when there's two leaders.
Two leaders.
So some relationships have two leaders.
Mm-hmm.
They fight over making decisions because neither of them trust each other. Both thinking their way is the best way. So we'll call that relationship the fighters.
So you can have two followers, two leaders. The reason why two leaders is dangerous is because subconsciously, if you feel like someone is taking your thing over or they're not giving you leeway, you will subconsciously want it to fail so that you can get your way. Mm-hmm. And in a relationship, that's dangerous because I only win if she wins. She only wins if I win. So we should be contributing. But if it's two headstrong people, then you get there's no support.
So you box it out.
You box it out. You ain't supporting me and I ain't supporting you. And now we're at a standoff. But so those are two types. Now this is the most important.
This is the one that we all should try to strive to be when there's one leader and one follower. Now, when I say that, these roles, they go back and forth.
They
so
flip.
This is when you acknowledge who's strong in what area. So certain things that the man may take the lead in and the wife will follow, then there's certain things, vice versa. So the best relationships are those where there's an equal give and take between each one, leading and following. This is fluid with the constant ebb and flow. Mm-hmm. The follower each time relenting to the more dominant lead, and that can be man or woman. So we'll call this relationship the dancers.
The dancers. Okay, now let me say this about that because many people get confused by this. It's not relinquishing your role in the home. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it is on some things. My wife is stronger. I know men today that will destroy their home's finance because they were taught a man has to be over the finance. Now, if finance is not your area, but it's your wife's area, a real leader of a home would say, you have to lead in this area because it's better for us.
Right.
You got me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you got to figure out what it is that you're good at. So me and my wife, we used to bump heads all the time because I'm a visionary. I'm more of a visionary type. I can see it. So I saw us sitting here doing a podcast. How many years ago? A long time ago. She couldn't see it.
How much is this going to cost?
She said, how much is it going to cost? I said, well, it's going to cost this, but I figured out. And so I pretty much saw this then. But she understands that I'm a visionary. And her job is to make sure that the house don't sink while we're funding the vision.
Right.
Because she's good with numbers. So it's not that, but you have to have identity and know who you are to do that, because it's not that she's the boss. It's that I know that she's good in this area. Don't be so stubborn in your relationship that just to hold on to your pride or your integrity, you will not allow your spouse to lead in the area, because a dance goes back and forth. Y'all ain't hearing what I'm saying. Now, I can't dance, but I know that in order for us to get through life, we got to bob and weave. We got to do what we do. We got to move. I feel like preaching.
Well, that's a preach right now.
All right. So I think that's it, man. It's more we can discuss on that. We deal with all of this in depth in marriage counseling, but let's go to our next topic. Let's do about 10 more minutes, and then we'll talk about this other. Can men and women be friends? Do we got anything on there, or can we move on?
Yeah, about
any questions, comments? We good? Okay.
Yeah, Nina said. She said real leaders know how to follow and are comfortable following, even if they are capable of doing what the person they are following is leading in.
Absolutely.
That's wisdom.
But Nina, that's definitely wisdom. And that takes identity and knowing who you are, and it takes integrity. Mm-hmm. A lot of people in relationships, and we're not just talking about marriage, we're just talking about relationships. They won't even get a person they with another chance because they feel like it's going to make them less than.
Right.
So,
then, one of the biggest things we hear in marriage counseling is when people always say, well, she doesn't support me. Or he doesn't support me.
Yeah. And
I don't think it's necessarily that the person isn't supporting, but I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? Because it's not that they don't support.
I think it goes with taking constructive criticism.
Right.
I think that it's not it's not support. It's just, it's not how you want it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not how you want it. So I think, and we tackle that. We kill that in marriage counseling. We really kill that because really it's a team effort.
So I think maybe it's how you say it, not what you say.
Absolutely.
So even when he said 5 years ago, I want to do a podcast.
She was like, a pod of who?
And I said,
podcast. I said, that's where everything going.
You know, I'm like, give me some more information.
I'm like, no.
You know, like,
no.
Because sometimes, you know, you can get real excited and let's do this, let's do that. You just jump out there. And then sometimes you do need somebody to say, wait a minute, hold on. You know,
absolutely.
And then sometimes the other person can take that as rejection.
Yeah.
That you don't support me.
Yep.
And I wasn't saying no. I was just saying, well, maybe just not right now. Let's you know, we'll go do it.
Yep. Now let me say this. Let me speak to that. Because we used to bump heads on that. We used to get into blowouts about that. But when we went to counseling, then I realized that her strong area would benefit my dream. So it's how you say it. She ain't going to say, no, we ain't doing that right now. Because she'll say, well, let's talk about what it'll cost. And even a good wisdom says, what man buildeth the house and not count the cost? And then on that flip side, when we went through counseling, I understood I don't want to put my family in a hole anyway. So let's do it so we combine our powers and I become Superman and she get to wear a Wonder Woman shirt.
What about Thor?
Let's go on to the next subject. Can men and women really be friends?
All right, so
listen to this, y'all. We about to get it in.
I know this is a real sticky conversation. Now, what we talking about? Just to get it straight, we're not talking about like two married couples, and I mean, because I have male friends, but they're both of our friends.
What?
We have married couple friends. I'm not talking about like that. We're talking about like us, we're married. Am I going to have a male friend that is not friends with my husband?
Now, let's talk about friend. We're not talking about somebody you say hi to at work. We're talking about somebody who you go out with. That type of friend.
I'm talking about friendship on the same level as two females. So,
right.
For example, just so we can paint a picture.
Paint the picture, baby.
Right now, let's say we're married.
Yes, we are.
I have a male friend. Even let's say it's somebody I grew up with in high school, something, whatever, elementary, and we're friends. And when I'm talking about a true friendship, because if one of my female friends called and said, "Hey, I'm going through something. I just need to." My cousin just did this. I just need to get away. Let's go out to eat?
Yeah.
Now that's true friendship.
That's
where
true.
You just
Absolutely.
like, all right, and he don't have a problem with that.
No.
I can go with a girl and we just, hey, let's just go catch a movie and get dinner.
Yeah.
But is it equal if I had a male friend that I grew up with and me and him is married and let's say my friend is not, or even if he is actually, but he's calling me like, hey, I'm going through something. Can me and you just go out to dinner? And can me and you just go to the movies? Is that cool? Is that type of relationship cool?
So can men and women be friends? And now let's do the outside of a marriage. Is it possible for a man and a woman to be best friends or friends and there's nothing going on behind the scenes?
It is.
It is?
My best friend is a male.
But
nothing has ever crossed the line. We look at each other as sister and brother.
Not cross the line, but behind the scenes.
Right. So
you would have to be able to get inside his psyche.
Right, because you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
And he wouldn't know truly how you feel. So this is the study that I found. So
now listen to this.
The study, they took 88 couples who I said couples, 88 male-female friends. Who all 88 said we are only friends. They both agreed, said we're just friends, that's it. So what the study did, they separated them. They took all the women in one room and they took all the men in another room. They said, we're not going to share the results of this. So, your friend is not going to know what you're saying, how you're answering these questions. What this study found is that over 90% of the men said that they were physically attracted to their female best friend, who they said they're only friends with. So they acknowledge we're just friends, but they said, but if I had the opportunity to take it to the next level, I would. And then vice versa, what the woman said is that they said it was like 80% of the women were not physically attracted to the male. Like the women were more so into it, saying, yeah, this is just my friend. Like, she didn't have any feelings of wanting to be with him or sleep with him or go to the next level. So it was just talking about how it's really so different, like what you really think. So the woman, you really thinking it's just my friend, we just cool. And then that's what happens when then you wonder why you see a lot of times male, female best friends, and then one of them gets in a relationship, and then the other person gets mad. Well, why are you mad if that's just your friend? Why would you be upset that now he's dating somebody or now she's dating somebody? Because would you be mad if your female friend, now she got in a relationship? Not necessarily.
So basically, friends on them.
Right.
But the other part of the study said that the women recognized that the companionship that they had with that male was extremely important, as far as it was filling the need that maybe a mate would feel. So, in other words, they're both getting something out of that relationship, right?
Right, they're both getting something.
They're both getting something, and it's when you introduce that other aspect in, that's when all you know what breaks loose. So now, can men and women be like yeah. But 90% of these men said, man, you know,
right,
if I had the opportunity.
And this is the thing. So just keep in mind, when they were
then
together,
80% of the women,
both the man and the woman together, they both said, no, we're just friends. There's nothing there. We don't have no feelings for each other. But then when they were separated and they were asked those same questions, then the man came out and was like, well, yeah, you know, we just friends. But if she came on to me and I had the chance, yeah, it's going to go to another level.
Now, yes, it can be. But like what Sade just said, sometimes you don't know what's behind the psyche of the person you're friends with. Because sometimes I think, this is my personal opinion, when it's a friendship, a real friendship, he know how good you are.
Right.
So he probably thinking sometimes, man, that dude that was messing with her a fool because she a good girl. If I had the opportunity. We don't know that because 80% said this. Now, this is where it gets kind of crazy.
But and the thing that was interesting is a lot of times, I mean, even with the projection. So when they asked the men, the men who said that they were physically attracted to their female friend, they asked, do you think that she's attracted to you? And all the men said yes. So because they were attracted to her, they assumed that the feelings are mutual. But when they asked a woman said, no, I'm not attracted to him. That's just my friend.
Now let me speak to this. Because you often see in your own language, right?
Right.
So we have love languages. We teach this, relationship languages, love language. So my wife is what we know as acts of service. What gets her motor oil running, her fire lit, is acts of service.
Vacuum in the house.
When she see things being done, she's like, oh. I'm touchy-feely. I am intimate. I that's me. But if I'm not careful, I might put my language on her. I might say, well, to get her to be more intimate, I'm gonna be intimate with her because that's my love language. So I project that onto her.
So let me read what Brittany just said.
Go ahead.
This is actually in the study too. So what? Brittany says, me and my male best friend have had this conversation before. Mm-hmm. He did tell me that he thought about crossing. That the thought crossed his mind. However,
there we go.
He would never want to cross that line or risk losing the friendship that we have. And that's the same thing the men said in the study.
But you know what that means? That means that if we gonna do it, we got to do it for real.
And that's what the men said. They said that even though they were feeling that way, they would never openly come out and tell their friend because they don't want to risk the friendship. But what does that mean for a man? That means that if we gonna do it, we got to go all the way with it.
I have two different scenarios. For some reason, I always have a male best friend growing up. So I have the one, yes. If I would have let it go, he definitely would have took it that way. And the other one,
absolutely.
Like you said, you would have to actually see what's going on behind the scenes. But we've had conversations, and it was definitely like, no.
Yeah,
this also says, I mean, I don't know your friend, but I just wanted to say that, and it says heterosexual relationship. So it is possible for like if a female to have a male gay friend. Yeah. And it's no feelings because it's almost, you know. Yeah.
Absolutely. Just not attracted but listen, that's vice versa too, because you got some women that'll have a good male friend and say, man, if I can get it. This is all vice versa. But still, remember, out of 88 couples that were sampled, 80% of them said behind closed doors.
90%.
90%. Yes. So in other words, a conversation between me and Angel has to be behind the veil. It has to be deeper than just a conversation, which means that this is what we see in marriage counseling. We really don't have real conversations until we have them, but it really got to be all guards down. Because if I'm a man and I know if I tell you something, it's going to push you away, I won't tell you even if we having a real conversation. What, like, if I do that and I know I can lose you, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you share your intimate things. Now, how does this work in a marriage? This is why this is good to tackle before you get married. Do you know that if you got friends and you get married, most people never even discuss their friends? Do you know that those relationships, you can grow feelings for people when you're married that are not unnatural, but you can just have, let's just say a man got a best female friend. Now, it can be done. We're not saying that, but what we're saying is this. You got to be very careful. And this is why. I marry Angel. I got a best female friend. If I'm telling her intimate things that I'm not telling my wife, that area belongs to her, not my wife. If I can run from my wife to this relationship, that can be very dangerous because I'm vulnerable because I give information.
Right.
When in a relationship, I need to be vulnerable to my wife and my wife need to be vulnerable to me. I need to know things about her that she don't want nobody else to know, and she need to know things about me, and we got to have a trust that it'll never get out. So if there's a man that she's running to and she's talking about me, not just he get on my nerves now, because we got people we cool with, married couples, and we can do certain things, but I'm talking about the intimate things. Right? And sometimes we give our intimate stuff too fast, too quick, and to the wrong person.
Right.
So I'm sorry.
I was going to say, so it says these results suggest that men, relative to women, have a particularly hard time being just friends. Then they did a follow-up study.
I don't believe that.
They did a follow-up study of 249 adults. Majority of them were married. They were asked to list the positive and negative aspects of being friends with specific members of the opposite sex. So the variables related to romantic attraction, the relationship could lead. They were saying that basically the relationship could lead to romantic feelings. They were 5 times more likely to be listed as negative aspects of their friendship than positive ones. And that's kind of like what Brittany was saying earlier. So a lot of them were saying that what they looked at as being negative is that we're friends, but eventually this could lead to something else.
Wow.
Me having feelings for
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. I mean, you know.
Melissa said very dangerous.
Very dangerous, absolutely. Very, very dangerous. Now, and listen, y'all, in doing a lot, sitting down with a lot of people doing marriage counseling, that it just can be dangerous for you with your intimate stuff. With your heart. Wherever you give your heart, you have to be careful, man. You have to be careful. All right, I think we there. We might as well do the whole thing on this. Because we already over. All right, we're doing the whole podcast on live. So let's go to what we got. We usually cut it at 30 minutes, but we already over. So we're going to do the whole thing here. Questions, comments, put them in there. Let's keep going with that, man.
So what, still about the...
about that friendship thing. And again, y'all, we're not saying you can't have friends. We're just saying, a lot of times, man, I kind of cringe with that whole, this is my best friend, and you got a husband and wife. Because listen, let's be 100. Let's keep it 100. If let's do men. If your wife left the house and said, or your girlfriend said, hey, my homeboy having problems, I'm about to go out to the movies with him.
Or even, because
we gonna have a problem.
Listen, I want y'all to look at it from being equal of the same sex relationship. So
yeah.
Even sometimes we do girl trips. So would you be cool if I had a male best friend and I said, we just getting away, we going to Chicago for the weekend, just me and him, we need to get away?
No, I'm about to choke you right now. You know what I mean?
So I mean, both ways. So
I'm just kidding. I don't choke and all that.
There's a lot of people on here saying that their best friend is the opposite sex. So does your spouse feel that would be okay?
Yeah, because listen, you know you ain't gonna do nothing. But what about your spouse? Do the person you with know that you won't do nothing? It's not about you. It's about them. You got me?
Right. And
so
I think that's the problem because people keep saying, well, you know, I got my best friend is the opposite sex. But if you look at it from the equal playing field, if for the women, will your husband allow you to do the same things with your male best friend that he allows you to, not allows you, but he's okay with you doing with a female friend?
Now listen, and let's just be real. There are people that'll say do it because they've always done it. That don't mean they cool with it.
Right.
That does not mean that they're cool with it. Some things you start in a relationship and you should, man, it ain't gonna be like that all the time. We'll grow out of it. And you don't grow out of it because they say they cool with it. You got to have a real conversation and say, am I really cool with this? A lot of things people are not cool with.
Not are you just settling for it or dealing with it.
But are you cool with it?
Are you really okay with it?
Yeah. And this is another thing. Now, I know I'm not going to do nothing. So I'll say, well, this is my best friend. I'm good. But it's not about what I know won't do. It's about what do she really believe? And that's a real conversation. Now, it can be. Some people may have them relationships. That may be cool. We're not saying it can't be done, but that's a real interesting conversation to have.
Right, so this says, in my experience in a relationship, it was an issue with me having a male best friend. My best friend would tell whoever he dated that I was his cousin at first, so it wouldn't be any issues up front.
Yep.
Like I was having. Is this an issue? Yes. If you have to lie about
you
who
gotta
your best
lie
friend
about
is, it's an issue.
That means that there's some problems there. That means that there's some problems there. So that's what we said. In some of those things, when you introduce another of the opposite sex, so like if me and her best friends, and then I got a homegirl now, and then I go, man, this is my lady, and then I'm like, she'd probably be like, no, you can't be with her. You can't be around her. Right? That means that's an issue. If I got to lie and say, no, well, this is my cousin, right? That means that it's a problem. Because if it ain't no problem, I wouldn't have to say that. Right. So really, it's about a real conversation. It's just about a real conversation. And we had these conversations in marriage counseling and say, look, because let me give you this. Men, listen to me. Sometimes a woman can see what a man can't see. She can be your friend for years. But a woman can come in the picture and say, I see how she look at you. Men, same, vice versa. A man can see when a man has set something up. Because let me tell you something about men. We can lie in wait until it's our turn. We can say, I'm gonna set this up for the future. I'm gonna be there for every time. I was looking at this. We're talking to this guy who ended up being with his best friend. Mm-hmm. And what he said was, I was just waiting for my turn. And he said that I knew when she got sick of playing, because he was a good dude, real good dude. She said, I knew when she got sick of playing, that's when I was going to step in. He could see what other men like, man, baby, he looking at you a certain way, blah, blah, blah. So let's just be real. If you got to lie about it, then you know it ain't what it is. Let's just be honest.
Yep. It was something else you had wanted me to talk about. I don't remember what it is.
Just talk about my goodness. Talk about my goodness, baby. Talk about how... No.
What was that other story I had told you I read about?
I don't know. You told me a story, and you got to talk about that tonight.
I know,
it was phenomenal.
I don't remember.
So, that best friend stuff, and women out there, let's be honest. If one time we gonna have a panel with women, because I've seen some best friend relationships go the opposite way of just being friends. Not all of them, but some of them. And men too. What it comes down to is a realistic relationship about what our wants really is. Can you be friends with a man? Yes. Can you be best friends with a man? Yes. Can you be best friends with a woman? Yes. Can it work? Yeah, if you're honest up front.
Oh, I remember now.
Go ahead, baby.
No, so, I mean, it's a kind of off the topic a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
But it was a story about, I had read another article. A lady was writing about, it was still like kind of communication or knowing what's important to the other person.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really good. So basically, long story short, she was married. She said she was married for 20. She is married right now for 25 years, but she said she's only been happily married for 20 years.
Yeah.
So the first 5 years of her marriage was bumpy, I guess.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, that's a good story.
So she was saying that sometimes you don't even know what's important to you. And that's kind of what you was asking me earlier. Like, how do you know, you know, do you even know what you want? Do women know what you want? Do we know what we want? So, so what happened is she said that it was just her. Every single day she would make up her bed. Something simple. She said it didn't really mean anything to her. I mean, she did it every day, but it wasn't like I want him to make the bed. It was just something she did every single day. And then she said she ended up breaking her foot. And when she broke her foot, she still got up. She was hopping around trying to make up her bed. And then she said her husband had walked in and saw her making the bed, like trying to make the bed with her foot broke. And he stopped and he said, "Is that really that important to you?"
Wow.
Making up the bed. And she said she stopped and thought for a minute, like, I guess it is. If I'm still, you know, like she said, even though she never really, some stuff you do, you don't even put deep thought into it.
Yeah.
But she said from that day forward, her husband, he started to make the bed every single day. And from that, it just showed, from his actions, it showed him how much. So even though he may not say, "I love you" every single day or whatever, she said by his action of him doing, because he knew, at that point, he knew making the bed every day was important to her.
Yeah.
Then he ended up doing it every single day just to show her how much he loved her. So from that was kind of like the turning point of their marriage. So sometimes just acknowledging what's important to your spouse, even if it's something small.
Yeah, and think about, and look at this. Sometimes action speaks louder than words, right? And that's a form of language. Your action. Show me you love me, baby. Man, somebody on here said how we feel about work wife or work husbands. Oh, I thought you was pumping it up.
Nah, I don't do that.
You better not.
I'll put these hands on somebody.
No, work wife and work husband, man. No, you got to kill that. Now, because people be like, and I've heard people say this, well, I'm in there more than I'm at home, and you about to destroy your home. You better cut that out. You better cut that out. That ain't cool. It just ain't cool, man. It just ain't cool.
I mean, you are at work all day. Like, so those people do become kind of like your family because you're there with them all the time. And then that's how stuff end up going, you know.
Going left.
Right, you start off playing like, oh, this is my work husband, my work wife, but then something,
something happened. Now you got a whole nother family. So no, we don't do that. But this is about the intimate things. Just because you at work 12 hours a day don't mean you got to have an intimacy with someone at work. You better text your old lady or FaceTime her or do something. Why? Because you got to give your intimate things to the person who you laying down with, man. That was make the relationship good. You give your intimate things.
Crystal said yes, the little things like putting on my socks while I was pregnant.
Yeah, putting on them socks. You know what I'm saying? Putting on them socks. So, y'all, we just saying this, and we almost out of time. We appreciate y'all joining us. The full episode will be on SoundCloud. The video will be on YouTube at Marriage Matters. And then you'll have this live, man. Share this live for us. If you think this is good conversation, let me explain to you what we're doing. We are not trying to tell you what to do. We do marriage counseling. That's when we give people, we build programs for people marriages. But what we're doing on here, we're just trying to open up the conversation. And sometimes we got to ask that question. And so when you hear us talk on this forum, this outlet, we're just giving our perspective. And remember, our perspective is from a place where we had a lot of issues and then we sought counseling. That's why we are advocates for counseling. We think we only need counseling when we're going crazy. No. We need counseling sometimes when it's going good. Why? You just don't know what the other person thinking. There's nothing worse than being in denial about someone you love, saying it's just my friend.
Yep.
When it could be a relationship. You praying to God for that husband, and you talking to him every day.
Janine May said, transfer to a different department. Find another job.
Janine, yes. You better transfer to another. Absolutely. That stuff is dangerous, man. So we don't want to mess with that. But yeah, man, we probably went a little over tonight, but it was well worth it.
Oh wait, I want to give a shout out.
Oh, shout out. Oh yes.
Can y'all see it?
Yeah, over here.
My personalized cup. Well, that's not.
This is not the personalized one, but we got personalized cups.
From
Balloons done
Balloons
right.
Done Right.
Greg Wright. Balloons done right. Makes these cups. Put the names on them and everything. I got my pastor cup. Man, and when I'm out, people want to know about them, so we hand them off. Balloons done right. He does balloons. He does.
And prom season is coming.
Prom
up.
season is coming.
Yep.
He puts the words
you
on
want
them.
on
He
it.
can put the words on the balloons. Balloons done right. Greg Wright. Go find him on Facebook.
Or if you need stuff on glass, right?
Yeah,
Like,
he'll put things on glass, words and everything, just like on our T-shirts or whatever. So, hey, and we're about to do a thing. If you want us to come to where you are and do a live podcast, Marriage Matters Team at gmail.com. We got a couple dates lined up. We're going to be in having some men talk, some women talk.
Oh yeah, it's going down.
It's going down. So if you want us to come to you, we can bring this whole thing to you. We're going to start having guests in within a few months. So we'll be having a full setup. We're going to do a man's cast. Ken Woody, we're doing a man's cast. We're going to do a women's cast where they just on the podcast. And if you want us to rep you, Marriage Matters Team at gmail.com. We have some creative people out there that's making all types of stuff. You have clothing lines. Man, we've been getting people ask, how can we get our product to you? Man, send your product. We'll sit it on the table. We'll do whatever you need to do. Marriage Matters Team at gmail.com. Why? Because we about to go somewhere. So if you want to be a part of that, and then Marriage Matters, Marriage Enhancement. If you are interested in going to the marriage conference in Las Vegas, October 15th through the 21st, 5 days at the Polo Towers. We only want to see you 2 days for 4 hours because we want you to practice what you preach and what we teach. Man, get with us. Marriage Matters Team at gmail.com. We still have slots left.
Yeah, you wrapped it up.
YouTube, Marriage Matters. SoundCloud, Marriage Matters.
Yep.
Facebook, Marriage Matters.
So, and if y'all know any, so y'all know all the men that go to barber shops and women that go to beauty salons. It's some crazy conversation. Like sometimes I'll go to the barber shop with my husband and the stuff y'all talk about in there.
It's normal stuff.
It's just crazy. So, if y'all know any barbershops or beauty salons, we're about to do something where we're going, like he said, we're going to pack up all this stuff, take our crew with us. We'll set up shop, do the live podcast from the barbershop because we just want to hear from men, just random men, what y'all, what the thoughts are on whatever. Because ladies, it'd be some crazy conversations in the barbershops. So then he asked me, he like, well, we need to go see what the women talking about in the beauty salon. So we go do this barbershop beauty salon live podcast. Yep. So if y'all
interested,
if you know anybody of beauty salon or barbershop that wouldn't mind us bringing all our equipment and just talking to some of the customers,
let's do it.
Let us know.
Let's do it. We'll holler.
That's it.
Y'all good? Good. Man, thank y'all for joining us. We'll be back next Thursday.
Week.
And for real, next Thursday, we only doing 30 minutes on live. But go to SoundCloud, get the full episodes, subscribe. Go to YouTube, subscribe to the Marriage Matters page. Go to Facebook and like it. Please share this, man. We want to bring conversations back. Not dictatorship, but let's just have a conversation. We'll holler.